When we think of distant worlds, we're usually talking about planets outside of our solar system, worlds so far away that even the light from their stars takes years to reach us. But there's another kind of distant world that might be closer than you think, literally thousands of miles away in the deep ocean, and both kinds of worlds have a lot to teach us about the limits of life as we know it. First, let's talk about those far-off planets. Scientists estimate that there could be anywhere from 10 to 50 billion Earth-like planets out there, some of which could be habitable. If we ever want to make one of those planets our new home, we'd need to make some major changes to our bodies. For starters, if the planet has an atmosphere, we'd need to be able to breathe the air. And if it's got a strong gravitational pull, like twice the Earth's gravity, we'd need to evolve stronger bones and muscles to be able to move around on it. On a planet with thinner atmosphere and weaker gravity, our bodies would probably get weaker, and we'd start to look more like the crew of Star Trek, all long and gangly. But what if the planet is tidally locked, like Venus and Earth's moon? That means that one side of the planet is permanently facing its star, so the climate on one side is either hellishly hot or delightfully cool, depending on how far away from the star the habitable zone happens to be. In that case, we'd need to find a way to regulate our body temperature, like sweating or growing lots of fur, unless we want to end up looking like this. And then there are the little things, like if the planet doesn't have enough oxygen in its atmosphere, we'd have to evolve gills to breathe underwater. Or if it's got a toxic atmosphere, we'd need some other way to protect ourselves from the elements. Maybe we'd evolve a shell or a really thick skin like a turtle. Or maybe we'd just stay inside our ships and only go outside when we're wearing spacesuits. Basically, if humans want to live on distant worlds, we'll need to evolve a whole bunch of new adaptations, or we can just stay here on Earth where life is already pretty good, especially compared to what it was like 65 million years ago. Okay, now let's talk about the not-so-distant worlds like this one. It's a trench nearly 8 kilometers deep in the Mariana Islands. Here on the surface, sunlight streams through the water, plants photosynthesize, and fish swim by the thousands. But down in the trenches, it's a different story. There's no sunlight, so photosynthesis doesn't happen. And instead of fish, you'll find bizarre creatures like these deep-sea cucumbers, which don't even have any close relatives on the surface. They've evolved over millions of years to survive in the crushing pressure and frigid temperatures of the deep sea. In fact, scientists have found life in the Mariana Trench that's adapted to all three of Earth's extremes: crushing pressure, freezing temperatures, and complete darkness. So if we can survive in the deep sea, we can probably survive anywhere. And we might be able to thrive too if we had the right gear. Imagine a pressurized spacesuit that allows us to walk around on a distant planet like we're strolling on the beach. Or a portable biosphere that creates its own atmosphere and environment wherever we go. Suddenly, exploring distant worlds doesn't seem quite so impossible. As long as we're careful, we can study the planets and learn how they formed, whether or not they have life and what kind of life might be out there. Because while life on distant worlds may be very different from life here on Earth, it might also be more similar than we think. We've only just begun to explore the depths of our own oceans and the planets that lie beyond our world. The possibilities for discovery are endless. If we're willing to look, we might just find that distant worlds aren't so distant after all. This episode was brought to you by the generous support of our patrons. If you'd like to help us make more videos like this, you can get started at our support page.